Alright, welcome back to part 2, Devon, of my stats video. I apologize for the unprofessionalism of these videos, but I'm not really doing them for anybody except you. So, and it's kind of easier this way instead of having to send you stuff through the PS app and then, telling you, oh, this is why I did this is why I did that. But anyway, episode 2 started for help. Let's get right into the stats. Alright. So this is the overall general terms of general choices that the fantastic episode presented you. And right away we're gonna start with Savior at the beginning. You stumble across this group of people and they need help. One's in a bear trap. They're asking you to help them out. How do you respond to that? Do you try everything you can to get them out of the bear trap and then eventually have to leave them behind because the walkers are gonna close in on you and it's you or them? Or do you take drastic measures and force him out by cutting him out? Now, I tried everything in my power. At first, I didn't want to resort to cutting off the leg because I didn't know if you would survive because of blood loss. But after going through all the prompts, going through all the buttons and everything, realizing there was no other way, you had to either cut him out or leave him. So I cut him out. I played Savior, and well, we all know what happens because you and I did the same thing. You, me, and 44% of players decided to chop his leg off. And in doing so, well, we got him out, but lost too much blood, and that was it. So that was the first choice. Now, I know it says the second choice is the interrogation, and it's when you encounter Jolene, the girl in the woods, but there is another stat that they don't show on here. It's the stats of who you gave food to when you came back to the motor inn. Remember how Lily forced you to give out food and rations to people because she didn't want to do it? And there are stats to who players gave each ration to, and I'll go over them right now. I think, if I remember correctly, you told me you fed Clementine, Duck, Kenny, and yourself, i.e. Lee. Now for me, I fed Clementine, Duck, Kenny, and Carly. So there is only one difference there, but here we go. Us and 96% of players fed Clementine. So pretty much everyone who played the game fed her, first and foremost. Moving on, us and 95% of players fed Duck. So the kids, they got the food first and foremost. I'm not sure what the 5 and 4% of players were doing, but I don't know why they would feed adults over kids, but I don't get that. So let's talk about Kenny now. You, me, and 41% of players gave food to him. Because, honestly, he's one of those characters where people either like him or hate him. And personally, I like him. So I decided to feed him, and you did too. And this is where we deviate, though. See, there's only a 4% difference in players that fed either Carly or Lee. And I'll go with mine first. Myself and 15%, that's 15% of players fed Carly. Very, very low number. We also got to remember that she may not even appear in that episode, so you never know. Maybe that's why she's not higher up on the scale. And here's the one for you. You yourself and 11% of players fed Lee. I'm not bullshitting you, man. This is real. 11%, and for us that's the lowest amount because there's nothing lower than 11%. So you did the one thing that most players didn't do, which is feed yourself, which is incredibly selfish. But then again, you're in a post-apocalyptic world, so there you go. But alright, moving on to interrogation. When you're in the woods with Danny and Jolene comes upon you. Now you and I have the right idea. We shot her right away because, number one, she was batshit crazy. Number two, she had a crossbow pointed at our heads. And number three, it looked like she was going to pull the trigger at any moment. So I beat her to the punch. Or shot, if you will. But of course, everyone likes to be a pussy in this game, because so they decided to hear her out. But, well, pretty much, whatever happens, that's pretty much just a dead set case of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I decided to be the one to shoot her, just because I didn't want her to shoot a crossbow on my head. And you and I felt the same way, so that's what we did. Now, when it comes to the third choice, it's all about pragmatism. Now, in case you don't know what that word means, I know it's a big word, and I know you're a bit younger than I am, so you may not understand that word. I'll try to sum it up to you very simply. Pragmatism is the act of dealing with problems in a practical way, rather than using theories or abstract principles. So, best example, Larry has a heart attack. He has a history of heart problems, as confirmed by himself and his daughter. This one seemed to be the one that killed him. His heart stopped, his pulse stopped. In that world, if you die, you come back as a walker. You and I were pragmatic about it. He's dead. Let's keep him from coming back to save what's left of the people that are here. Is it inhumane? Yes. Is it cruel? Yes. Is it unjustified in most cases? Yes. But then again, so isn't leaving someone to die just because you don't like them also unexcusable? So turnabout's fair play. You and I knew what had to be done. And anyone else who says otherwise, they're stupid, honestly. Because I don't know why in the world anyone would want to help someone like that. Piece of shit racist. Anyway, moving on. Revenge. That was when he had to deal with the St. John brothers. Now this is where, again, it's always the fourth choice it seems, where we deviated. I killed them both because I didn't want them to come back for me. I didn't want them to regroup. I didn't want them to find another pack of cannibals in the woods somewhere. You never know. I didn't want them to come back and haunt me. So I had to make sure that they were dead and they weren't going to bother me ever again. I understand why you... I actually no. I guess I really don't. I don't get why you left Andy to the walkers. I mean, I remember you said that he wasn't worth it, but I think he was worth it. After what he did to you in the group, the only acceptable answer to that would be death. But I guess, like, whereas I took it all the way, you stopped yourself halfway through. So, I mean, maybe that means you have a little bit of humanity left in you at that point, but I'm just trying to figure out why you wouldn't go balls to the wall, hardcore, slick games motherfucker that you are. I don't get why you wouldn't just kick the motherfucker in the electric fence and watch him fry like a fucking zapper, So I don't get that. I don't get why you didn't kill both of them. What if Andy got out somehow? What if later on he comes back? You never know. But moving on to the last one. Survival. Yeah, I think at this point you and I were desperate and you and I didn't know what to do. We had to go back to the motel, and then we got a gift dropped in our laps. A station wagon full of supplies, food and medical stuff. So I didn't care who that belonged to. I don't care what they were. I don't care what the story was. They weren't there. They were probably dead. I'm going to take that stuff and help my group out. So those were the choices of episode 2, Start for Help. And as you can probably hear, you and I have similar mindsets, at least in this point in time. But like I said, I guess for some reason, whereas you stopped yourself from going full beast mode, I decided to let the motherfucker run wild and kill anything that threatened myself or my group, i.e. my family. In this world, bro, you gotta understand one thing. Humanity is dead and gone. And if you're gonna be one of those people like Morgan or Jesus or someone who's just anti-violence, you're gonna die. Straight up. The good guys always die. It's better to be the villain and cause a little bit of hell before they take you out than to personify being a saint or rising above the hate and then still getting put down for it. My opinion. My opinion. So that gives you a little bit of insight to how I play these games. I play them like a villain, pretty much. Because everyone else around me is a villain. So why not? Why pretend to be a good guy when in actuality I killed a senator for fucking my wife? That's what happened. That's what Lee did. He killed a senator for fucking his wife, which justifiable. I get it, totally get it. But of course, as he was powerful, he got tried and he got a case for it. He caught a murder charge. But that's all in the past. Anyway, that's my insight into episode 2, Started for Help. And again, not much to talk about because you and I did the same things pretty much, except you fed Lee and you didn't kill Andy. That's pretty much the extent of what we did opposite, or what we did differently. But yeah, so that's episode 2, Started for Help, and I will make you a video for the next few here in a few minutes. Hope you enjoy these. Hope you enjoy this little video, Devon, and I'll get better with it as soon as eventually. I'm kind of ad-libbing everything here. There's no script in front of me. That's why I'm stuttering a little bit, and that's why I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. All right, but I'm doing this for you just to give you an alternative perspective. All right. See you on the next one.